Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, so we're going to talk about Space Daddy. Yeah, we're going to talk about Elon Musk and Twitter and the situation going on over there. The hashtag is trending, RIP Twitter. People are saying that Twitter is dying, Twitter's going to die, Twitter's going to implode. And look, things right now are not very good. And I'm not saying Twitter won't crash and burn. In fact, I'm good either way. I just didn't want Twitter to stay as is because of it being ground zero for cancel culture and stan culture and all that weird shit that has been creeping into pop culture. But, it does seem like there is an inordinate amount of hand-wringing by the media, and I gotta show you this. Now, we've mentioned this multiple times, more so recently because we do have a couple of sites kind of related to this channel, but we run a lot of websites. I've actually built and managed websites for years. In fact, we had a debacle before with a former partner. That was a website that I built, my wife and I ran, and she basically walked off with. There's a lawsuit, we won. Anyway, just saying, been doing this for a while. So one of our ad networks sent us this email last night, and they sent out to everybody in the ad network, but they basically told people to go generate Elon Musk clickbait. That literally go, publish negative stories about Elon Musk and Twitter and everything burning, because we're in Q4 and the ad rates are really good. And Elon Musk is a godsend for a lot of publishers right now because the ad rates are down. I've said before, the ad rates are down, at least on YouTube, are down 25-30% from what they were last year. Banner ads, it's much, much worse. And they're like, hey guys, we need to make money too. So go generate as much Elon Musk clickbait as you possibly can. And my God, are all these publishers accommodating? And I do know that some of these publishers for sure are in the same networks that we are. I'm not saying who or what it is, but yeah, they are. And they're like all kinds of hit pieces on Musk, all the hand wringing over Twitter. And, it could be too that Twitter means a lot to journalists. It is, again, kind of the water cooler for journalists, no pun intended, because of the water cooler debacle on the Slack channel at Twitter. But yeah, so you're going to see things, I believe, get blown out of proportion. But also, I want to be clear, I don't think things are fine at Twitter. I don't know if Elon Musk really calculated or accounted for the amount of backlash he has gotten. I think he knew it was going to be difficult to come into Twitter and change that culture to fall in line with how he runs his other companies. You don't have to agree with how he runs his other companies, but there is a management style that Elon Musk has. And when he made the joke earlier in the year that he was going to turn Twitter HQ into the world's largest homeless shelter, I don't think he was joking. I think he knew what would ultimately happen is he would have to fire everybody and start over again, or people would quit and he would have to start over again. But basically, he gets the bare bones of Twitter and he's going to have to start over again. I mean, Twitter is going to continue, but it's not going to be the same bird as it was 6 months ago. And that's fine by me. I hate Twitter. I think it's one of the worst things that has ever been invented by mankind. It's destroyed a lot of lives. And, I'm not entirely convinced that World War III won't be started by Twitter or an ill-conceived tweet, But anyway, he knew he had to start over again. So we're going to talk about how Twitter employees are apparently locked out of the office. He gave them the ultimatum. Things are in chaos. And again, the media is just like, see, we told you if Elon takes over Twitter, it's all going to go to hell and everything's going to end. It's like, yeah, their little lockdown world is going to end. But I don't think he ever intended to keep Twitter as is, ever. I don't think that was ever the intention. I think he's like, yeah, whatever. We're gonna build something new. And Twitter is no longer a competitor for this something new. And Facebook and Google are laying people off. Now Google's laying people off too. Meta's laying people off. And now is a time from a business perspective. Now's the time to strike, to be like, yeah, we're going to take Twitter down too by buying it. I'm going to take the carcass and I'm going to turn it into something else. that can compete with like TikTok or something like that. That's my personal opinion of what I think he's going to do, but it's going to be a rough ride until we get there. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants. Guys, almost 281,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. Greatly appreciated. Speaking of support, if you go out to shopclownfish.com, we've got the new Clownfish Studios enamel pins in. These things are beautiful. We've got a new pin manufacturer. We're going to be doing more of our own merchandise in-house going forward. This is a different pin from what we offered before. It's larger. It's higher quality, I'm going to be honest. And it does have 2 pin backs, and we've got some new card art. And this is actually going to be kind of where we're going from here. Clownfish TV is going to be a thing that Clownfish Studios produces, but Clownfish Studios is also going to do other stuff. And this was always the plan for us. It was never to just have this one YouTube channel. In fact, we actually do a lot of other things, and a lot of things that we do, we don't even talk about. We don't even talk about on here because we tend to attract crazy people. Speaking of crazy people, Twitter is known for crazy people. And Ricky Gervais is like, how are we going to hear from so many clinically insane people now? That is a good question, Ricky Gervais. It's a dang good question. What are we going to do? Where are we going to go to get our daily dose of crazy people? I got to tell you, I'm worried about the future of the channel, guys, because if Twitter implodes, if Twitter becomes more based, what are we going to bitch about? Hey, just going to mention this real quick. Bounding in the Comics put this article together saying the Japanese are very happy with current Twitter because they're saying that they're getting more pop culture and anime updates now. Before they were getting all kinds of political news. They said that they don't see stuff like BuzzFeed and the Huffington Post on their Japanese Twitter timeline anymore. They're actually getting weeb news and boobs and all that stuff. And this is actually good news if you weren't into politics. Because I remember back when Twitter started, it mostly was cartoonists and tech people and some journalists or whatever, but mostly it was people just sharing interesting things. And it morphed from that into becoming this really political website. And then it went from being a really political website to becoming almost authoritarian about, locking it down on one side of the aisle. We know which side of the aisle that is. And you weren't allowed to have any dissenting opinions. That, of course, has to do with who they hired, in my opinion, who came on to Twitter. They brought their political biases with them. They brought their slacktivism with them. And now Elon Musk is basically gutting them. He's gutting them. So apparently, Twitter employees have had their building access suspended, and Musk is being quiet about it. They said the platformer's managing editor, Zoe Schiffer, reported on her own Twitter account that Twitter has told employees that all office buildings are temporarily closed and their badge access is suspended. Why? Just Elon things, apparently. We're hearing this is because Elon Musk and his team are terrified employees are going to sabotage the company. Also, they're still trying to figure out which Twitter workers they need to cut access for. This is scary, right? I mean, if you're an employer and you come into a company that you bought, that you paid $44 billion for, and you can't trust anybody working at that company, again, I think he's going to have to basically gut it and start over again. But he had to have known this was going to happen. I mean, you see what the culture is like at Twitter. There's been lots and lots of documentation, especially since it was announced that he had interest in buying Twitter, about what the company culture at Twitter is actually like, what the expectations are of the employees there, and what they think constitutes a work day. He had to have known that his style coming in there was not going to fly. I would like to think that he has a plan B, that he's like, yes, I'm going to go in there. I might have to gut literally 90% of the people working at Twitter, keep the good ones that are there, and there may be some good ones there. Keep the ones that are good and get rid of everybody else. Move the thing to Texas and just start over again. Offices are going to reopen on November 21st. In the meantime, please continue to comply with company policy by refraining from discussing confidential company information on social media or in the press. This is unverified. Gizmodo Australia can't reach out to our internal PR friends when they don't have access to their laptops. And if the situation is as Schiffer is reporting, as an employee, I'd personally be shit scared to tell my media pals anything other than everything's fine. Yeah. Reports emerged this week that Musk gave his staff an ultimatum. Per the Washington Post, of course, they're going to shit on him because Jeff Bezos has a beef with Elon Musk, and also ad revenue. Ad revenue, guys, got to get that ad revenue. Well, I guess somebody's got to get it because Elon's not getting the ad revenue now, right? The post said Musk told staff in the memo, this will mean working long hours at high intensity and only exceptional performers will constitute a passing grade. This sounds scary. Musk hasn't said, this sounds like every corporate takeover I've ever witnessed. I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't think a lot of people working in tech fully understand how coddled their industry has been. Now, I'm not saying that people working in tech don't put in crunch. They don't do, you know what I'm saying? But they are outliers. If you work for any other company, in any other job, like you work at a factory and somebody buys your factory, they can come in and just lay everybody off. You know, and he's giving people severance so they can't bitch that, you know, he violated the WARN Act or whatever it was, right? But I've been at companies literally where we would acquire another company. They would keep a couple of people from that company, move them over to our company, and then gut the rest of the company, sell off the assets of the company they bought. And a lot of it is just, you know, it's Highlander. It really is. And I think that's what this is about. I don't think this was ever really about buying Twitter and keeping Twitter as is. I think this was about taking Twitter off the board. Because Musk knows that everybody else is hurting now too. And if he's going to start his own social media company or start his own app, it's easier just to acquire somebody else's and use the framework and build something new. And I think that's what's actually going on here. I think that was always the plan. He's like, this is a 2-for-1. I can get a head start on creating my own social media app by using the bones of Twitter. And I can also take down Twitter, which is a competitor. I can take them down in the process. And that's how it's done. That's how business is done. You know, you look for a way to give yourself the best strategic advantages possible. The only thing is you can think all this stuff through, right? You can think it through, but you don't account for the human component and how humans are going to react. You know, it's not exactly like you're playing, you know, a tactical RPG and you're just taking characters off the board, replacing your troops. You know, it's a lot more complicated, a lot more messy than that. And I do believe that Elon Musk does not compute humans very well sometimes. You know, he doesn't seem like he does. Musk hasn't said anything about it. As Schiffer wrote earlier, she was hearing a lot of noise that Twitter employees were not signing Musk's hardcore offer. So yeah, let's talk about that. There were mass resignations, supposedly. He said that he wants an extremely hardcore Twitter 2.0 or leave the company. And people said, yeah, we're leaving the company. It's been a ride. This guy's leaving. Others tweeted messages alluding to Musk's policies. This Wednesday morning message, Musk had said only exceptional performance will constitute a passing grade. I may be exceptional, but gosh darn it, I'm just not hardcore. Cheeseheads leaving the company, guys. That 5 p.m. release from the strict meritocracy. Wait. That 5 p.m. release from the strict meritocracy. So I'm going to be honest. They had to go. If you're complaining that your job is a meritocracy, and you can't wait to get away from that stifling meritocracy, you don't belong there anyway. You don't belong at most companies. I don't know where you belong because most for-profit companies have expectations that you're going to add revenue to the company's bottom line. You know, because if you want to get into this whole thing, the collectivism angle of it, everybody is supposed to be contributing something to the company. And what the company gives you in return is a job, gives you a bit of that, you know, and there are some divisions that perform better than others and you're kind of eating off of their plate or whatever. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, and I will admit in a lot of cases in corporate America, it's very, very uneven, the distribution of, but really it's supposed to be that you know, to keep your job, to reap the benefits of a paycheck, to provide for yourself and your family, you're supposed to contribute something to your company, right? Or you can go do it yourself. You can go do it 100% yourself. And if you think you can do it better, by all means do it. That's America, man. You think you can do it better on your own, You want to open a mom and pop shop? Fantastic, go for it. But you're going to find out that having your own business is a hell of a lot harder than just punching a clock for somebody else. You know, I mean, there are a lot of business owners that actually dole out more money in expenses and in salaries than they keep for themselves in small business. Like, you have a lot of times the business owners aren't really pocketing a whole lot of money because they're paying their employees, but they need the employees to make sure that the company makes any money. Yeah. So anyway, a long story. That's a whole nother video. But this person did not belong at a hardcore company like Twitter 2.0, I guess. As the deadline approached, Musk reportedly grew concerned about how many remaining employees could leave the company. In the new memo, he appeared to walk back some of his comments about banning remote work, though he still said he would fire managers if remote workers on their teams weren't performing. It seems the concession wasn't enough for many at Twitter's Twitter platformers. Joey Schiffer reported Thursday, and that's what we talked about before, that Musk and his lieutenants were struggling to figure out how many employees had declined to check the yes box on his Google form. So now they're talking like Twitter is at risk of just shutting down. Again, are we actually there, or does it come back to this? You know, go make clickbait. I don't know. I don't think things are good. I don't think that, to be honest, I think Elon knew there was going to be a lot of pushback. I don't think he realized how bad it was going to be. You know, I mean, if it were me personally dealing with it, you know, and I don't have $44 billion laying around, so you're no threat of me taking over Twitter. But, you know, I would look at the situation, look at the culture, look at, you know, what you know about it and be like, yeah, I'm going to walk in here and like everybody's going to effing quit. Because they already hated him. A lot of people at Twitter already hated Elon Musk right out of the gate, irrationally, just because he's Elon Musk, right? And the first thing he does when he gets on the platform is he fires a bunch of people and then tells everybody to go vote Republican, you know, to balance things out. Fast Company has a story on it. What's happening to Twitter? Fears of a platform on the brink as offices shut down. Chaos ensues. Again, hashtag RIP Twitter. Twitter migration. Twitter is over party. You know, I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I have no idea. So yeah, it's supposed to open Monday. People are downloading their data. I mean, they're really panicking. And it's so funny because Twitter, to most people, to most normies, did not matter until Elon Musk bought it. Most people forgot Twitter was even a thing. They've moved on to other social media platforms. I don't think normies ever fully embraced Twitter. I think it always, to me, came across as being something that only journalists and tech people and weirdos, you know, and psychopaths and crazy people, as Ricky Gervais puts it, have been using, right? So we'll see what happens. Look, I'm down for it either way. Either Twitter gets reformed and becomes something that's usable and becomes a platform that everybody can use, that actually has value and is not just a huge time sink or used to attack people you don't like, or used to cancel people, or it burns down and everybody just goes someplace else and does something better with their lives than hang out on Twitter all day. I'm okay either way. But I absolutely want to watch the fireworks. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.